feel outside that there is need for help in whatever we want to do in terms of maybe the stadium, probably because that is that we started with. Then the players, I would say, they would come in with the kind of help that they are able to provide. So it's open for anyone from any political party, as long as he's able or she's able to meet what is required by the council.
What has been the response so far?
Well, the response has been overwhelming. People from different aspects of business want to partner with council.
I also want to just ask my last question. In your view, why do you think Harare City Council is failing to deliver services this month?
Well, I would want to think it's a little bit of both. The first port of call is the revenue collection in terms of the money that is there to maintain certain tracks, to maintain certain pipe, to maintain certain employers. Then also we have a second challenge whereby the employees, some are not up to the task. So it's a little bit of here and there.
So revenue, you cite the issue of revenue.
Yeah.
What about it? Is Harare City Council not collecting enough revenue?
That's the biggest one, because I think it's roaming around five, if my memory serves me right, it's around 50% or below. I'm not quite sure. But the revenue then comes into play with the issue to do with the money that we collect in terms of ZIGI against the US dollar. It all comes to play. So it then becomes a strain on council.
But as city fathers, your priority is to orientate your committees, expand the committees versus not doing service delivery. Doesn't really make sense. If you are collecting less, would it not make sense to be economic about how to use the money?
Yeah, it makes sense on how to use also the money, and it also makes sense to find ways to expand that money.
Thank you, Chair.
Maybe just one arise. Councillor Manyinga, I think I cannot leave this issue. You are actually saying that in fact you are failing to collect enough revenue. Is it not correct that failure to collect sufficient revenue is as a result of improper financial management?
That is correct.
The city fathers are not managing the finances of the city properly. Councillor Manyinga, that is the effect.
When you say the city fathers,
City council.
it's correct.
In fact, for your own information, all cash cows for Harare City were privatized. Talk of farm marketing, Harare City Parking, they were privatized and they are not remitting funds or sufficient funds. I'll give you an example of farm marketing, which is remitting almost nothing, quite nothing. City parking is remitting, but you cannot account of them all the monies that they generate. Then you, on the other end, you claim that you do not have funds. Councillor, what is your comment?
From those that were privatized, like you say, I think they are accounting, whether it's less or it's more or the expected, but it's accounting because of the audits that we get. I wouldn't know that if it's sufficient to what you expect or not, but we are counting.
Councillor, don't answer what you do not know. Never talk about audits, because the books of accounts were audited by the Office of the Auditor General, and they formed the opinion that in fact the financial situation is in shambles. So don't talk about those audits at all.
I'm in agreement of that when you say council, the audits mentioned that. I thought you were mentioning as in City Park and Farm Market and Choir. Those are the three that I'm talking about. That we see when they bring their reports that they've remitted so much.
And
That's
again,
the only.
and lastly, you have a bloated workforce as well, and they are chewing the bulk of ratepayers' money. You confirm that?
I wouldn't know if the
Okay, maybe we'll leave that from the town mayor himself. It may not be.
Councillor, do you have any sporting background yourself?
Yeah,
What type of sport?
I used to play soccer.
It was
I went to juniors, Cape United. I played for Ringston, that was in Division 2. I think that's the highest level I played. I played for the juniors of the Cape United, then I went to Division 2 Ringston.
no, that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Chair.
For your own committee, where there are hotels and other facilities within your constituencies.
I, as an individual, do not have the powers to choose where an induction should take place. But what I know and what I can say is all the inductions of all committees were done at Kadoma.
I think that, wouldn't you agree that it's rather telling if the chairman of the sports commission, sports committee, is not aware of the reasons for choosing the venue that they go for induction? Wouldn't you think that betrays arbitrariness in planning?
I wouldn't think that way because in every induction of all committees, 11 is there. They have always been done at Kadoma. So
I have to ask you this question because the commission is in receipt of evidence that inordinate amounts of money were expended towards these workshops, which is why we seek some insight from you as to why venues outside are chosen for that.
I wouldn't know because it's under the purview of the chamber secretary choosing the suitable venue for any induction.
You have no say in choosing the venue.
Well, our views need is there.
How many people attended this induction?
Of late, I wouldn't know, but from the committee,
Over 103.
attended the committee induction of the sports committee. Wouldn't you agree that that's reckless expenditure of ratepayers' funds?
It then depends their purpose for that induction, because I would want to
Oh,
think.
come on now, Commissioner. Councillor. Over 100 people attend the sports committee induction, and you do not agree that this is a reckless expenditure of funds?
If it's put that way, probably.
And I understand there are 23 members in your committee.
Yes.
That is over a third of the total number of councillors in the city council.
Yes.
Would you put that within the realms of reasonability? It's reasonable.
I wouldn't know, because at the end of the day, I'm just giving members to be part of the committee.
Yes, you are there not as a stooge, but as a person elected to represent ratepayers' funds, ratepayers of Harare. You cannot get away with an answer like that. What are you saying to your constituents? Is it reasonable that a sports committee of the council of your size can have 22 members?
It's here or there. Remember, as a committee, as a sporting committee,
How many workshops have you attended since your formation?
only once, that's the induction.
The election. Yeah. Are you, of course, but you have attended other,
Yeah, for other committees.
for other committees as well. So the understanding that is coming from evidence from councillors is that these committees are staffed with an inordinate number of members so that they can benefit from excursions to holiday resorts like Victoria Falls, Kadomarange, and Mutare. This is the picture that is emerging from evidence given here.
I wouldn't know the benefiting part, maybe just to see the resort, but in terms of monetary, if I, for example, if I'm to travel for a workshop in anyway outside Harare, a councillor is privileged to get 10 zip as an allowance.
No, but you know that most of your councillors choose not to reside at the hotels that are booked, choosing to be given funds for it. You know that.
Yes.
So do not mention this 10 zip because what you then receive are funds that are made for accommodation.
But then the funds has to be.
Is that not true?
It is true.
And I will add further. You are also given funds that are called locomotion, I think. Transport.
Yes.
Each of the councillors is given transport. Is that not true?
Yeah, that is in the event that.
Is that not true?
That is true, but
Yes, I will carry on. Is it not in fact also true that when you do travel to holiday resorts like that, all of you bunch up in combis in order to save money and pay?
that is not true.
That has not happened.
That is not true. I wouldn't know if that has happened, but
How can you say it is not true when there are over 100 members traveling? How are you aware of their locomotion?
I'm talking on behalf of the councillors, the officials. Probably I wouldn't know how they would travel because
How would you
for us,
know?
for us to get to 100, it means that there is now the inclusion
I will flip that up.
of the officials.
I think the picture is clear. I'll leave it at that. The picture is
Because right now we are preparing for a marathon. Last month we had a handball tournament where the sports committee was at City Sports Center.
no. Listen to the question carefully. in particular, Rufaro Stadium.
Yeah, in particular, Buffalo Stadium is taking our time.
Where I grew up in the township of Glenmora, there were tennis courts, netball courts, swimming pools. It would appear to me that your committee has not concerned itself with other sports that I have mentioned. You are a football commission.
That is not true. Why am I saying? A month ago, we had handball, City Sports Center.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about facilities.
Yeah, the City Sports Center.
Let me just round out my argument.
Okay.
I think that your commission was not created out of careful planning and application, full application of thoughts to what indeed a sports commission is required to do. Hence, you're concentrating on football. It was a political decision.
There was no political decision. The only political decision that was made, it was the concern of the usage of drugs with the youth today.
It only came about because the sports commission, that is, it only came about because there was a dispute as to who was going to do the reconstruction of Rufaro Stadium.
I'm not in agreement with that.
But the formation of the sports commission and the issue involving Rufaro Stadium were contemporaneous. No coincidence.
I wouldn't agree with that. Because when the issue of Faro started being talked about, and the formulation of
Do you have a master plan for the development of sports in our beloved city?
yes, it is.
Very well. If you have a master plan, I know that you may have not brought it with you. I will request that after you are adjourned, you can bring that master plan for filing. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner. Sorry, Councillor Manyene. In your submission, you mentioned that there are 25 councillors in the sports committee. So the workshop that was alluded to earlier on, which was attended to by 116 people, who are those, the difference between 25 and 116, and what role do they play in the sports committee?
Usually they are the officials, then they are the chairpersons of the other sporting disciplines, karate, chess, volleyball, and one, and including also the officials who were giving the status of their sporting discipline or the status of the facilities they use. Probably those are the numbers of the other that came from the officials.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Thank you, Councillor, for coming to assist the commission. Just going to follow up on an issue already raised. That's to do with the establishment of this particular committee. I think when you look at the other jurisdictions, this committee's functions are normally carried out by a committee to do with housing and community services. Now, in your case, you have a dedicated sports committee. And when you did outline the functions of this of your committee, I did not see any function.
Answer the first question.
Thank you, Chair. Actually, the formulation of the sports committee emanates from the Housing and Education Committee. That was the one that used to see about the maintenance of the sporting facilities. So, because of the concentration on the issues to do with housing and issues to do with education, that's why the stadiums and the recreational centers were left behind and are in this state that we are discussing today. That's where the need of formulating the sports committee came about. But it used to be run under that committee, as you rightly said, and it only transferred in March.
Yeah. Councillor, maybe let's get one thing straight. Committees, for them to function effectively in a council, are aligned to departments of council. And this is the officials in those departments who carry out the function, not the committee. The role of committee is in this characterized policy formulation and policy direction.
It's true.
So in your wisdom as council, together with your audit, do you think it was necessary to come up with another committee to do a function already being carried out by another committee?
Yes, I think it was necessary because the oversight role was then lacking in terms of the sporting disciplines and the recreational centers. So the oversight part was now lacking, probably because there are a lot of issues to do under that department.
I don't want you to understand to think that councillors are also policy implementers.
No, we are not policy implementers.
I want to think that the actual work of doing what you as policymakers come up with, you are officials, isn't it?
It's true.
So when you talk about oversight here, which is the committee's role, you are saying it was too much now for the committee which was there to superintend over this function.
Yes, the oversight then comes in a department when there is education. There is someone under the manager who runs the education aspect. There is someone who runs the housing aspect. There is someone who runs in every department. There are then those we call managers that run different aspects of work. So the sport aspect in the Department of the Housing needed a sports committee where that manager would sit in and then concentrate on the problems that are affecting the sporting and arts side.
Which department are you aligned with the council?
The Department of Housing.
So that's why I'm saying, councillor, you have a housing department with a director who has managers below him, who prepares a report for presentation to the Housing and Community Service Department every month, doesn't it? So now he has to prepare another one for you, just specifically for your function as thought.
It then goes along with also the other committees. Because if it is running that month,
I'm saying the Housing and Community Service Department director prepares reports which goes to the committee which he is aligned to. And now he has to prepare another one specifically for you as well.
the sporting aspect is very complex. It doesn't only end in the housing department. There is also the information department where the issues to do with the soccer the advertising was under also the information department. So-
Councillor, that happens to all departments of council. That they are not in silos, they interlink, we know that.
That's exactly where my point is. That they are in silos.
In fact, council, I think, is wasting resources. Already we've seen 116 people attending an induction for your committee at Kado, which to me, I think is outrageous. Because a committee of 25, 116 people attend an induction. I still need to understand that. So, my belief, Councillor, is that your committee basically was created just to ensure that perhaps says a thank you to you as an individual,
No,
or maybe just on the issues which were hot that time of Faro, because I can't see anything else which they are doing which could not have been done by the Housing and Community Services Committees, including with education and all. I can't see anything else you are doing.
No, I wouldn't want to believe that the creation of the sport committee is going to waste the resources.
For the resources have not been wasted at government.
Actually, yeah, I wouldn't argue about the first part of the induction part. But as a sporting nation and as a sporting city, I would want to believe that it will even bring revenue in Harare in terms of even tourism, if we are to host with better stadiums, better facilities, it will bring revenue in Harare.
But Councillor, you forget one thing. The Director of Housing and Community Services, who has this function, is still the same.
That's why I said the sporting aspects are also found in different departments. I gave an example of the information department.
But the accountable director is Housing and Community Services, correct? Correct
No.
me if I'm wrong.
You are correct on that aspect, but I'm saying the other parts, they come from the information. They come from the EMC.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Councillor Mwenga. Just to take it up from Commissioner Jakampa's last comment, you have a person who is failing to deliver services, who is now increasing the expenditure of running that institution. It doesn't really make sense. In my view, if it were a private corporate company, you would actually try to streamline and shrink the committees so that you can put your resources to good use. But my question is, in your submissions, you talked about looking for partners in order to help you to develop the facilities. I wonder what criteria you use and what method you use in search for those partners. And do you consider political affiliation of anyone who tries to